What is a habit? A habit is a routine or behavior that is repeated regularly and tends to occur subconsciously. The American Journal of Psychology defines a habit from the standpoint of psychology as a more or less fixed way of thinking, willing, or feeling acquired through previous repetition of a mental experience. How do habits form? According to experts with psychology today, habits form when new behaviors become automatic and are enacted with minimum conscious awareness. That's because the behavioral patterns we repeat most often are literally attached into our neural pathways. It turns out that every habit starts with a psychological pattern called a habit loop, which is a three-part process. First, there's a cue or a trigger that tells your brain to go into automatic mode and let a behavior unfold. That's what we think about when we think about habits. Think about something it took you a really long time to learn, like how to parallel park. At first, parallel parking was difficult and you had to devote a lot of mental energy to it. But after you grew comfortable with parallel parking, it became much easier, almost habitual, you could say. Parallel parking, gambling, exercising, brushing your teeth, and every other habit-forming activity all follow the same behavioral and neurological patterns, says New York Times business writer Charles Duhigg. Then there's the routine, which is the behavior itself. The third step is the reward, something that your brain likes that helps it remember the habit loop in the future. Neuroscientists have traced our habit-making behaviors to a part of the brain called the basal ganglia. Decisions, meanwhile, are made in a different part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex. In fact, the brain starts working less and less. The brain can almost completely shut down, and this is a real advantage because it means you have all of this mental activity you can devote to something else. That's why it's easy, while driving or parallel parking, let's say, to completely focus on something else, like the radio or a conversation you're having. You can do these complex behaviors without being mentally aware of it all. And that's because of the capacity of our basal ganglia to take a behavior and turn it into an automatic routine. Studies have shown that people will perform automated behaviors like pulling out of a driveway or brushing teeth the same way every single time if they're in the same environment. But if they take a vacation, it's likely that the behavior will change. It's also a great reason why changing a habit on a vacation is one of the proven and most successful ways to do it. If you want to quit smoking, you should stop smoking while you're on a vacation, because all of your old cues and all of your old rewards aren't there anymore. So you have this ability to form a new pattern and hopefully be able to carry it over into your life. In order to gain good habits and to break the old ones, you need to have a goal. The goal helps you focus on one task at a time. Having a goal helps you focus and be productive at the same time. What is a goal? A goal is an idea of the future or desired result that a person or a group of people envision, plan, and commit to achieve. People endeavor to reach goals within a finite time by setting deadlines. Why is it important to have a goal? Setting goals helps trigger new behaviors, helps guide your focus, and helps you sustain that momentum in life. Goals also help align your focus and promote a sense of self-mastery. In the end, you can manage what you don't measure, and you can improve upon something that you don't properly manage. How do habits connect with our goal? Habits are algorithms operating in the background that power our lives. Good habits help us reach our goals more effectively and efficiently. Bad ones makes things harder or prevent success entirely. Habits powerfully influence our automatic behavior. A lot of people struggle with reading. So let's focus on how to develop a reading habit instead. Reading has a number of benefits, including improving your memory and vocabulary, helping you learn new things, and improving focus and concentration. I have used a number of tricks to help me read more and develop a daily reading habit. First, create a reading list. I would definitely suggest you start out by creating a list of books that you would like to read. For example, you could create a list of novels that you've always wanted to read but never had the chance to, or a list of books that you need to read to learn something about a topic or field of study that you're interested in. Second, set a goal. A good idea to motivate yourself to read more is to set a goal. For example, you could set a goal to read a certain number of books this year or a certain number of pages each day and then work on reaching that goal. 3. Schedule a time for reading. To make sure that you will read every day, you need to schedule reading into your day. You could read first thing in the morning, during your commute, before going to sleep, or even during lunch. 4. Find a good place to read. Something that will help you read more is finding a good place to read. This would preferably be somewhere quiet without any distractions. You could read in your bed, in a comfortable chair or sofa, on a park bench, and of course, at the library. 5. Eliminate distractions. Make sure to eliminate any distraction that might be interfering with your reading. Turn off the TV and put your smartphone on silent. 6. Read actively. While passive reading is better than no reading at all, I would highly suggest you try an active approach to reading. Highlight passages that you think are important or interesting. Write comments and notes either on the book's margins or in a separate notebook. If you're reading on your smartphone or your ebook reader, take advantage of their highlighting and note features. 7. I highly recommend keeping a reading journal where you can write down quotes that you like, record what books you have read, jot down any thoughts related to the book as well as any comments you have on what you've read. You can review these later to refresh your memory or to get new ideas. 8. Carry a book everywhere you go. Always carry some reading material with you, either in the form of a physical book or an ebook on your smartphone or ebook reader. That way, you're able to read whenever you get a chance. This allows you to spend those little breaks in your day reading instead of scrolling your Facebook or Instagram feed. 9. Know when to quit. Don't feel like you have to finish every book you start. If the book you're reading is boring or not what you imagine it to be, simply drop it and start reading a different one. A good rule that I like to use is the 50-page rule. I always read the first 50 pages of any book I start. If I still don't enjoy it after 50 pages, I just quit and move on to a different book. 10. Replace other forms of entertainment with reading. A good way to read more is to replace other forms of entertainment with reading. For example, instead of watching TV or movies, playing video games, or mindlessly browsing the Explore tab on Instagram, read a book. This will allow you to read a lot more books every year. 11. Read multiple books at the same time. Something I like to do is read multiple books at the same time. Anytime I get bored with a book or I would like a change of pace, I just switch to a different one. A great way to do this is to always read one fiction book and one non-fiction book at the same time. 12. Get a reading partner. You can also get a reading partner to help you keep yourself accountable to your reading goals. This can be a friend of yours, a significant other, or a colleague. You can start reading the same book with your reading partner and then discuss it as you read or once you both finish reading the book.
The imitation technique. Why it's key to learning languages. Did you know that if you mimic someone's accent, you'll be able to better understand what they say? Playwright George Bernhard Shaw explains that connection between learning and imitation. As such, imitation is not just the sincerest form of flattery, it's the sincerest form of learning. This is what psychologists at the UK's University of Manchester and Holland's Radboud University discovered in a study in 2010. The results showed that learning through imitation, imitating the person you're talking to, helps your speech comprehension. So for language learners, this imitation learning technique means it's best to practice your conversational skills with a native speaker. Imitation speeds up learning. In the 1970s, American psychologist Andrew Meltzoff identified so-called social learning, where people or animals observe and then copy their companions. Imitation accelerates learning and multiplies learning opportunities, he noted. It is faster than individual discovery, it is safer than individual discovery, and safer than learning by trial and error. Practice talking with a native speaker. So if you want to learn a new language, don't just study books. Employ the imitation technique by making contact with native speakers to set up a language exchange. Whether you're looking to learn a few British English idioms or brush up on some essential Spanish phrases, you'll learn, have fun, and make new friends all at the same time. Hot tip for learning even faster. If you want to speed up the language learning process, don't simply imitate your partner's way of speaking, accent, or intonation. Try to use this imitation technique for their hand gestures and facial expressions too. Not only will you sound like a native speaker, you'll also act like one. There are so many benefits to learning a language like this. As well as having a great time and enjoying interesting conversations, you'll practice your observation and socializing skills. Tell us what you think. What languages have you learned by interacting with native speakers? What extra benefits have you found? And do you have any tips for successful conversations? Want to learn a language by having real-life conversations with native speakers? Start learning with Busu for free today. The emotional roller coaster of language learning. You've just decided to learn a language, and you are pumped. We're excited for you, but we also feel the need to warn you. Learning a language can be a bit of an emotional roller coaster. Stage 1. So excited. You're going to learn Spanish and impress your boss. You're going to learn Arabic so you can finally speak to your husband's family. You're going to laugh along when the ladies at the nail salon make fun of you in Chinese, because the joke will finally be on them, right? Yes, you're super excited right now. It's all going to be so much fun. Stage 2. Very confident. You've picked up some study materials, enrolled in a class, harassed every Brazilian-looking person in a 12-block radius to practice the 10 words you know in Portuguese. It's new, it's fun, it's exciting. You're going to be fluent in no time. Stage 3. Moderately less confident but still determined. You've made it past the first lesson, and all of the pleasantries are over. No more bonjour, a lot more and verb conjugations. You feel so close to understanding all these new concepts, but you just keep getting stuck. Stage 4. Struggling. What is that letter? Am I saying it this right? Am I saying it right? Okay, so speaking this is a little more difficult than expected. You may or may not have hugged a loggy on your cat while trying to roll your R's, but he'll get over it. Stage 5. Paralyzing self-doubt. Well, now it's just ridiculous. You know a few hundred words and you can ask for more bread, please. So you don't really need to know anything else anyway, right? Subjunctive mode. Genitive case. Ain't nobody got time for that. Stage 6. Regret. Wait, what was the word for bread? I shouldn't have quit learning. Languages are awesome. What was I thinking? Stage 7. Renewed determination. Jump back to stage 1. Remember how totally fun and interesting this language is. Remember that you want to tell your mother-in-law that you don't actually like her cooking in German. That's right. Get motivated again. Find some new resources to make things fun. Watch funny YouTube videos in Italian. Read the Harry Potter novels translated into Dutch. They were written for a 14-year-old. You don't care. Nothing can stop you now. Stage 8. Victory. You just had a conversation in another language. And they understood. That's right. Your Thai food order came out right. And it was delicious. Then of course you try to ask the waiter for the check and accidentally ask for his phone number. But whatever, you're conquering a new language and it's awesome.
Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to talk about the fastest, most direct ways to learn a new language. Step 1. Set language learning goals. The first step to learning a new language fast is to set goals for what you want to achieve. When you think about it, this makes a lot of sense. If you don't set goals, how can you know what you want to achieve and measure whether you have achieved it or not? When faced with the idea of learning a new language, most of us feel overwhelmed. There are so many words to learn and so many different ways to study.
Setting goals narrows your focus so you can stop worrying about the details and get down to business. Research shows that people who set the right kind of goals are more likely to achieve success. Use these guidelines to get the most from your goals. 1. Focus on specific tangible outcomes. Set detailed goals and focus on what you plan to learn rather than how much time you plan to study. An example of a good goal might be, this week I'm going to learn 30 Spanish vocabulary words related to shopping. 2. Set short-term goals. It's good to have an ultimate goal, the thing you eventually hope to achieve, but long-term goals are too overwhelming to motivate you on an everyday basis. Break down your ultimate goal into smaller bits and set smaller goals for each week or month. 3. Challenge yourself, but not too much. Goals work best when they make you push yourself, but if they're too daunting, they can actually discourage you. A good way to get around this is to set goals with a range of outcomes. For example, you might say, I want to learn 30 to 50 new vocabulary words this week. The lower number in this range helps you feel the goal is achievable, while the higher number allows you to push yourself. 3. Write down your goals. Writing down goals helps you commit to them. Post your goals in a prominent place like your bathroom mirror or home screen of your smartphone. The second strategy consists of learning the right words. Languages are made up of a shocking number of words. English, for example, has between 60,000 and 1 million words. Luckily, you don't need to learn anywhere near that many words to be proficient in a language. Consider this. The top 100 words make up about 50% of English language texts, and the top 1,000 words make up about 90%. Check out these lists of top 1,000 words in these languages. By focusing on learning these words first, you can eliminate wasted time and increase the amount of information you understand very quickly. Tip 3. Study smart. When learning your words, you'll learn faster by using the very best study techniques. For example, one of the best ways to learn vocabulary words is to use flashcards. Flashcards help you focus on individual words and allow you to test yourself, which helps you memorize new information. When you learn with flashcards, follow these tips to learn fast. 1. Try out electronic flashcards. Paper flashcards work just as well as they ever did, but electronic flashcards programs like Anki provide some great benefits. By using electronic flashcards, you can easily carry large stacks on your smartphone or tablet, and you can take advantage of flashcards that other people have created and made public. These programs also automatically change the order of cards and use spaced repetition to gradually increase the amount of time between repetitions of a flashcard. Both of these techniques help you learn faster and better. Next strategy is about making sure to guess the meaning of a word before turning over the card. Flashcards work best when you use them to test your memory, so don't be too quick to flip the cards over. Even if you don't know a word, make a guess. Next, learn the translations first, then learn to produce the new words. It's easier to learn the translation of a foreign word than it is to learn to say the foreign word when you see its English equivalent. Start by looking at the side of a flashcard with a foreign word on it and memorize what the English translation is. Later, turn the cards over and use them to practice producing the foreign words when you see their English equivalents.